so let's go. So apparently things are going on in the US apparently. What are you guys doing over there? You're just totally complete nutcases or something like that, you know? It's incredible. Anyway, it's like running around like animals, and we're made in the image of the gods. We should know better than to go around and, beating others and destroying things. And gotta be kidding me. So anyways, I'm looking around and it's a little hard to actually not, get into, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, and all the Jew hatred going on, give me a break, If you really want to know the culprit of things going on in the world, you don't look to the Jews. You look to the Jesuits, the Roman Catholics. Go read your Bible and some real Protestant history, history that hasn't been rewritten for the advantage of the Roman Catholics. Find out where the AntiChrist is. Do you know where the AntiChrist is? Of the number 666. Because every single Protestant knew about it. Actually, they have to know about it, because if they don't know who the Antichrist is, how can they protest him? And what are Protestants called? Well, Protestants are called Protestants because they protested against the Roman Antichrist of the number 666. This book, the Bible, is a wonderful book to show us where to, guide us in the right direction. It's not the Jews. Now, of course, there's some Jews working for the system, but the Jews are used as a scapegoat. There's people working all over the world for the Roman Empire or the shadow government. You have to be kidding me. There's so much Jew hate on BitChute, it's just one after another, Hatred and hatred and hatred for the Jews here and my dad, and, Jew my this and Jew my that and Jew my whatever, Gotta be kidding me. Maybe know a little history in regards of the USA, There were Protestants that came over, and then of course you're now used by the Roman Catholics to go out and do all those proxy wars of the Antichrist, known as the so-called Pope, or so-called Holy Father, or his so-called holiness. So, but apparently it does. What is it going to help to go out and beat people and end up murdering them? And just incredible. You're going to continue with that. Just why? Come on. Going out and beating other people made in the image of the gods, that created us on the sixth day. The God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness." And we were created around 6,000 years ago. It just doesn't make any sense to go out and beat people. Instead, stand for the truth, Get back to the Bible and find out, what the Bible says. The book of Daniel and the book of Revelation are the two books that, points to where we find the Antichrist. And it's not Jewish. It's Roman. You have four beasts in the book of Daniel, the first one being Babylonian, then you have the Medo-Persian, and then the Grecians. And afterwards, who comes after the Grecians in history? The Romans, the Roman beast. And it's still added to this very day. It's not the Jews, it's the Romans. And the Protestants took us out of the Dark Ages, where we, the people, were not allowed to read the Bible in the common tongue. They persecuted the Christians, and they burned their Bibles and documents. Because the problem was, if people read the Bible, they might figure out that Roman Catholicism is not Christianity. You see, just because they call themselves Christians doesn't mean that they are Christians. So, you go and read some real history in regards of the Fox's Book of Martyrs, Child's Books of Martyrs, Martyrs Mirror, and so forward in regards of what this wicked system did. It's the Roman Catholics. These Roman Catholics are wolves in sheep clothing. And the Jesuits, if you go and read the Jesuit oath, you might learn a little in regards of what we really are up against. So, it's not the Jews. Of course, there are some Jews working for the system, as there are in every nation, there are people working for this system, so, all over. So, yeah, Freemasons, Knights of Columbus, Knights of Malta, and all these other secret, things that are around and organizations. It's just all going back to that AntiChrist. That Roman Antichrist of the number 666. You see, people want to say that, the Antichrist, here and there and whatever. And maybe it's Trump or whatever, or Obama or whatever bullshit you people will run after, right? No, the Antichrist has been here for hundreds of years. And he's found in Rome in regards of the great city of the whore and harlot, who is drunken by the blood of the saints. So, maybe you just, come on, you people, get back to reading some real history and the Bible as well, and just be careful of Roman Pharisee Paulus, because he will lead you into lawlessness. You see those two gospels going out in the world from the 1st century, and one was pulling people to the law, and the other was pulling people away from the law. And that was the Judaizers that was sown first, and then the Romanizers, which was sown afterwards. And there has been a conflict between those groups for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, actually nearly 2,000 years. So, you see, the Romanizers are trying to take you in the path of man-made laws, like Christmas, Easter, Halloween, and, pointing out that, Sunday, is the blessed day, which is utter nonsense and utter bullshit. Or the pagan New Year of Janus in the winter, according to the Roman calendar. You see, all these bullshit traditions that we have is pagan bullshit. Nothing to do with the truth. And nothing of these traditions are found in the Bible. In regards of Sunday, in regards of the venerated day of the sun god Sol Invictus and all that, is the first day of the week and not the last day of the week. And I guess you still have some truth in the US in regards of still having the 7th day as the 7th day. But in Denmark, where I am, we changed that in 1973 when this nation I live in joined the Roman European Union. And, they apparently voted, about it in 1972 and 1973. They apparently just changed the week. Well, of course, that by man-made decree, and doesn't really change the fact that God established the 7th day from the very beginning, around 6,000 years ago, when he created everything, So, that's the creation week, Of course, many of you probably have been brainwashed with pagan satanic evolution about millions and billions of years, That's paganism, That's going far further back than Darwin. You've all been fooled by the devil, and instead of going around and smashing people and stores and all that, you should wake up and begin to research a little. It just doesn't, how's that going to help anything to go out and smash people, burn, smash people and murder people and, destroy houses and stores or whatever, it's just incredible. You have to be kidding me. What is that going to help anything? Get back to the Bible and get back to God instead of all that nonsense, turn around and just, get a Bible. You should be able to get a Bible in the US, I would think. And, read the Gospels in regards to Jesus. And if you want to know in regards to where the Bible is pointing to in regards to the Antichrist, but of course it's all laid out, pretty much in, but the books of Daniel, of the prophet Daniel, and the book of Revelation are two of the most, concentrated books in regards of figuring things out. But yeah, it's always the Jews, right? So let me ask you about something. Who do you think the Protestant protested? Who do you think they protested? You see, all this history has been hidden away from us. You see, Martin Luther made a children's song in 1542, and, against the two arch enemies of Jesus Christ. Who do you think he pointed to? Because, people will say, oh, he wrote against the Jews and all that. Yeah, but it wasn't the Jews he was talking about in regards to that song. You see, the two, greatest arch enemies against Jesus Christ, according to Martin Luther in his late years, was Roman Catholicism in regards to the cult leader known as the Pope. Actually known as the Pope, but I call him the Pope, the great stinking Pope. And then, of course, the Turks, which would be the Mohammedans. You see, both of these religions have a false version of Jesus. The Catholics have a cookie version. They believe the cookie becomes, God. And thereby they commit themselves to worship of Satan. And the Mohammedans, they have a false version of Jesus as well, which is only a prophet and no more. So, they both have a false version of Jesus Christ. Mohammedans don't believe that God has a son. They don't believe that Jesus was executed on a tree, and thereby they don't believe he was resurrected either. Which, of course, is easily clarified Muhammad as a false, stinking wolf, a false prophet. But Jesus didn't really warn us about stinking wolves that can be smelled miles away. No, he warned us about wolves in sheep clothing, okay? That was the warning. Wolves in sheep clothing. And they would grow up until the harvest, which is yet future. And then the bad, poisonous darnel will be collected together and thrown into the fire, and the good eatable wheat will be taken into his barn. Anyway, so what is this senseless things that you are, doing over in the US? You gotta be kidding me, But anyway, in regards to the Roman Catholics, that was what the Protestants, that was former Catholics, Papists, that was what they protested, because they figured out by reading the Bible and, beginning to research history and all that, that the Antichrist is in regards to the Papacy, in regards to the Roman Papacy, in regards to the office and seat of the Papacy. Every single man in that dynasty represents the man of the number 666, or the beast of the number 666. The little Roman horn that persecutes the saints and thinks to change times and laws. Yep. All roads leads to Rome. Ever heard about that? All roads leads to Rome. And all that hocus pocus bullshit in regards to that cookie. And, the so-called Queen of Heaven nonsense they have. And, anyway, of course, the nation of the US is, fixed for the Queen of Heaven, apparently, in regards, it's just disgusting. Anyway, so, you have all the Protestants around half of Europe, waking up to who the Antichrist is. And they all pointed to the Papacy. and Rome in regards to the whore and harlot. Now, do you think that they might need a scapegoat? Do you think they might need a scapegoat? Oh, the Jews would be a perfect scapegoat, wouldn't it? And, that's what they're using the Jews for, as a scapegoat. It's a wonderful way to scapegoat, where the real issue is. Now, of course, a lot of the U.S. now has become Roman Catholic, right? Have a lot of Catholics coming from Mexico, and you, of course, have a lot of people from history, coming to the nation and making the nation less of, Protestant, pretty much. And of course, we're not educated in who the Antichrist is anymore. All the so-called Protestants are not really Protestants anymore, it seems. So very few of them, it seems, they're actually standing up for real Protestant understanding in regards of history and the Bible. And you have to wonder, why would that be? Maybe because the Jesuits have infiltrated, all the Freemasons as well, which of course they control, has infiltrated the pulpits everywhere. And of course the school systems, all the garbage that is coming out of the television, and these stupid pagan games on the computer and all that. And that's just keeping you occupied from the real truth in regards of what is really going on. Now, so yeah, I just think it's stupid in regards to all this, are you beating people up and all that? What is that going to help anyone, If anyone, if anything, get going in regards to reading the Bible and figuring out in regards to real history, and figure out who the real culprit is in this world, because the old world order, they're trying to restore the old world order, which they call the New World Order, which I call poop doom, but that is in regards of the Roman Emperor, who sets himself up as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and the high pagan priest, the Pontifex Maximus and Caesar, and many other, the triple tyrant and all that, Anyway, that's the Antichrist. That's the Antichrist of the number 666. Of course, no one tells you about that, right? Because we have been so blinded on so many levels. And of course, the Bible taken out of the school system. And, we've been taught evolution nonsense, right? About in regards to millions and billions of years. And if evolution is correct, why would we trust the Bible, right? Because, the Bible says that everything was created in 6 days and that Jehovah rested on the 7th day, right? Yeah. So then, of course, it just totally cuts the whole Bible down by believing in nonsensical evolution. But, they will tell you, there's no proof for worldwide flood, and there's no proof for so-called young creation, 6,000 years is pretty old, I would think still, But anyway, it's going downhill. And in regards of the worldwide flood, have you seen all the sediments all around the world? Those layers, with fossils and coal and oil and all that? You've seen those? Those are from the worldwide flood. Yeah, those layers are not millions of years. Those layers, which can be found all around the globe, is from a worldwide flood. Yeah. But anyway, of course, they don't want to tell you that we actually have, dinosaur footprints, or actually dragon footprints, because the word dinosaur was invented in 1841. Before that, they were called dragons. So anyway, but we actually have dragon footprints with the footprint of man. But if these dinosaurs or dragons had to live 65 million years ago and man coming later, how can it be that we have footprints with dinosaurs and man together? Well, maybe because it's bullshit in regards of evolution, and man and dinosaurs has always lived together. Not only do we find footprints with dinosaurs, and of course they don't put it forward because there's an agenda and all roads leads to Rome in regards of all this Lucy thing. And what do you think about Lucy? Lucy, right? Lucifer. Oh yeah, it's one of these short forms of. They just put it, in your face, like the movie of Lucy something, or Lucifer Trust in regards of the United Nations and all that. It was called Lucifer Trust. It's now called Lucy Trust as far as I remember. Look it up and all that. You see, the Freemasons, for example, they are Satanists. They worship Lucifer in regards of the devil, whatever you want to call him, that old snake and all that. They are pagan bullshitters, and of course, the Roman Catholics are worshipping the devil as well by their cookies or their Mary or their images engraven, idols and images. Their cookie idol as well, they're worshipping the devil. Now the Mohammedans does the same thing, but anyway. But they're stinking wolves, so that shouldn't be a problem, figuring that out. But in any case, having all those, the Romanism and Mohammedanism have a lot of things in common, They both hate the truth, they both persecute the real Christians, and they both, are allowed to lie in regards to their faith to protect their bullshit religion. And, they both have a false version of Jesus, of course. They both believe the same false things about Mary and such things, and you can go on. They both have, going out in crusades or jihad or whatever, with the sword in the hand and all that. Not something Jesus told us to do, of course, because Jesus told us to go out and spread the good news about the gospel in regards of him dying for the sins of the world once and for all, not in a perpetual and continual sacrifice in the Roman Catholic whorehouses, those graveyards of walking death, walking dead and all that, stinking, disgusting graveyards of Satan's synagogue, pretty much, or meeting houses of Satan, whatever you want to call it. In any case, you people, why are you doing this? Why are you going out and, you shouldn't go around beating people that are made in the image of God, you shouldn't go out and, just stop it, and stop taking part in that nonsense. Just get back to, if you're bored and all that, there's always the Bible to read, and to get understanding. If you don't know who Jesus, for example, is, I would start with Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That's the beginning of the New Testament. I would be very careful of Paul, although he is a great testimony in regards of Jesus being here and who he was and all that. But, he is taking people away from the law into lawlessness, while Jesus was taking people back to the law. And, we're disciples under our master, and our master kept the law to perfection. So what do you think a disciple should, strive for? And that's not to say that we're perfect, because we're not, like Jesus. But that should be our goal, to commit less, sin, which is transgression of the law. And of course, if the little horn thinks to change times and laws, maybe it's because God's law is not abolished, Anyway, so Matthew, Mark, and Luke, that is, and John is in the New Testament. And a lot of people don't know who Jesus Christ really is, that he is the Son of God and God in flesh, and who died for the sins of the world once and for all. So that might be a good start, a beginning, to know who Jesus Christ really is. And then, of course, the second thing that might be a very good thing to know is who is the AntiChrist. You see, there's so much bullshit on the market in regards of, there's multiple versions of Jesus. The market is overflowing with false versions of Jesus, the cookie Jesus of the Roman Catholics and the only prophet version of the Mohammedans. Those are the two most important versions to actually know about. But there are many others, there's the Egyptian mystic version from Egypt and the Guru version from India and the Druid version from England, the Ascended Master Jesus, one of many, it just goes on, and the psychedelic mushroom and whatever, the enlightened man, Jesus, like Muhammad and Buddha, all that nonsense bullshit that the devil has poured out on the market, Do we want truth or do we want all the lies, That's the question, right? In regards to the Mohammedans, for example, right? Why would they trust a man coming 600 years after the event who never, he never walked with Jesus, never spoke with Jesus, never heard him or ate with him or whatever, Why would they ever trust one single man on it instead of trusting all the sources from the first century? Why would you throw all those sources away from the first century and history overall and just, let's go with this false prophet, It's just insane, A man coming nearly 600 years after the event, Give me a break. That's just total lunacy, Of course, the Roman Catholics have just totally lost it in regards to solacy, But in any case, it's just... Anyway, so I think the best thing would be to pretty much stop that nonsense that you people are doing over in the U.S. Like it's only going to hurt people, And how many more do you want to hurt? It's just Anyway, and then get back to the Bible and read some real Protestant history. I would, Tom Friess, he's one of your countrymen in the U.S. I would suggest looking him up. He's reading, for example, the last book. He didn't finish it, but it's still like 161 hours or something like that of reading in regards of history of Romanism. Of course, you can also download the book for free and just read it. It's around 700 to 900 pages depends on which version you're going to get. But around 700 to 900 pages on Roman history in regards to Romanism. And then you will, maybe get some... And Tom Friess is also very nice to actually also explain a lot of things. He has a lot of experience on that. So I would look him up, Tom Friess, on YouTube and find some of his recordings and maybe look into that and figure out what is really going on if you want to know more truth. Haven't the Jews suffered enough? It's like incredible. Haven't they suffered enough? What is all this nonsense of Jew hatred I see on the internet? It's like, the Jesuits always give the fault for the Jews, They always give, scapegoating the Jews, It's incredible, Look at history. Who did the Protestants protest? They didn't protest the Jews. They protested the Roman Catholics. The Roman Catholics was the greatest of enemies for any Christian. Why? Well, because the Roman Catholics, proclaim themselves as Christians. And many people believe that they are Christians. But this is the greatest masterpiece, craftsmanship of the devil, That, you have to wake up and figure things out, And, and then, well, I guess, take it from there, But of course, it's nice to know the truth in regards to who Jesus is, because he's the only way to the Father. If you don't have Jesus, there's only the lake of fire for the second death. Have to be reborn in regards to the Spirit of truth, and thereby you have already passed from death and entered into life. And you just cling to that pearl of Jesus, and then figure out in regard to who the Antichrist is as well. Again, every Protestant knew it. There's piles and piles of Protestant books out there with people knowing the Bible and people knowing history and all that, when there actually was taught, things in schools, and not just getting brainwashed and getting teaching against teaching and a lot of nonsense, a lot of pagan bullshit and whatever, and so forward, Anyway, I think I'm pretty much done. I don't know if this video will be any, if it will go anywhere. But anyway, if you're out there, if you're one of those, think about it, think of what is it worth going around destroying things and ending up killing people and beating them up and all that, and pretty much murdering people, What is that good to, what is that going to do, Are you kidding me, Think about it, it's not really treating your neighbor as that's not loving your neighbor, is it? Going around and killing people made in the image of God, in regards of Jehovah. So, anyway, that's all for me. May Jehovah be with you, and Yeshua be a most precious pearl, and the Spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. Take care, I love you, and that's all for me. I should go to bed. It's I just saw that all these conflicts and all the Jew hatred, incredible. I just apparently it seems to roll along, and I just come on, people, what is that going to help anything, Anyway, take care.